Your Majesties, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for always returning. Trust you and yours are well, and you're loving yourself and others like always. Many thanks to all of you for the support you give to the channel. Thank you so much to our channel members, to our anonymous supporters, to all of you, my esteemed subscribers. You loved, celebrated, and appreciated. All right, one of you left this comment, and it was brought to my notice, and I'm like, you saw the reply I gave. I'm not you, and you are not me, and that is why we are all unique in our own way. If you think that I talk so slow for you to follow me, you mustn't be here, right? There are different Pan-African content creators out there that you can commune with, and if you feel maybe the way I talk gets you angry, please, I think you do yourself good if you just maybe click out, unsubscribe, and go to other places. There are a lot of other varieties out there. And the truth is that I don't think I can change myself because you don't like me, because this is who I am. And I'm just being me. So if being me is a crime, then I don't know what else you want from me, Your Majesties. This was a comment one of you left, and I said I think that I should do something about it, like talk about it now, in case some people have the same opinion. You mustn't be with Abigail. You mustn't be here. Like I told you, I lose members every day, and I'm used to it. So you can just feel free to leave and go. If my face gets you angry, I am sorry, I can't help you, but this is how I was created, right? The way I talk piss you off, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, but this is me. And like I said, you can just do yourself good by leaving. All right, so now to South Africa. A lot have been going on, and this is the reason why, if you've been here long enough, you know that this is not today. I have been talking about South Africa for the longest time that I can remember, and there are things I keep telling you here, even when South Africans keep telling Abigail, Abigail, leave us with our white brothers and sisters, we love them. Abigail, leave us alone. I was telling you, this love is going to lead us to something that we will not like. A lot is being revealed at this time, and the only crime the South African government committed was just to look out for her people, for her originals in that land. Mind you, whites are not original to South Africa. So all those talks from the corner, information circulating on mainstream media, the originals of South Africa are blacks, they are Africans. So don't mind those ones who come and sit and want to justify them coming in, unaliving, forcefully taking out land, raping our mothers, our fathers, and doing abominables to our ancestors just to take our lands. Forget those things. They are justifying their crimes. Okay, they are justifying their crimes. Now, why am I bringing this up here? I'm bringing this up here because this cannot be overemphasized. If care is not taken, we will have two countries emanating from the South Africa that you know. And these two countries would be white-only dominated area. I'm telling you this because these are what they had said with their mouth. That they have tried their best, all right, to be independent all this while in different places where they occupy. We have Kleinfontein, we have Orania. And it is just these two or maybe three that they succeed in prohibiting the originals of the land from entering. If you had watched the recent video of Wodemaya, you discover that there were some things some of those whites said while they were interviewed. And it is some of those points that I am bringing out here to you. So they are not interested in handouts. They had said it. We don't want any money from any European body or any international body. We don't want any aid. All we want is recognition. We want to be recognized as a sovereign nation within a sovereign nation. These are my words anyway. But when you listen keenly, you discover that if you watch that video, like I said, watch Wodemaya's video, You understand that what they want is not money. What they want is not pity, it's not aid. They want to be recognized. They want the international body to help them cut off from the government of South Africa and to be independent. These white people had come and finish us, and they want to take over. That is just the summary. That is the essence of this whole thing, Your Majesties. So I'm going to leave you with something. There is a point I want to bring up so that we deliberate upon. That if care is not taken, this thing now, how many years ago had this happened? So many years ago, not very many, but many years ago, right? Now, most of all these hurdles started in 1913. I don't want to go into that for now because I don't want to waste your time, but it's some years ago. And this is the result right now. They have an aim, and that aim is to create a nation within within the continent of Africa that they call their own, where they govern, they control. They don't have anything to do with any black nation, but they are in the heart of. Come on, Your Majesties. I don't think something like this can happen anywhere in any European countries. They are kicking out blacks from their region. Why can't we kick out them as well from our own region? Everybody should be in their own home. Why are you moving around other people's home? And the justification these Afrikaners are bringing is that this is the only place they can call home. Because their ancestors lived there, they've given them what they call an inheritance. That is the only place they can call home. South Africa is the only place they have called home. They can call home. But the history we should not forget is that they came as illegal settlers. Okay? They forcefully took lands. They spilled blood to acquire that place that they are living. So the step that the South African government is taking about land reform is the best decision for her people. At least the South African government had listened to the cry of Africans and Pan-Africans that they should be careful with these people in their midst. And this is exactly what is playing out right now, that these people can never be trusted. You give them a seat to sit down, they kick you off from that seat and take over the whole land. That is exactly what is happening right now. So let's listen to this. I got it from Wodemaya's video, just a short clip that explains to a point, and then I'm going to leave you with another video that I keep bringing to you here, so that it balances some things in your head and you understand where these people are targeting, what they are targeting, and why they are trying to rewrite history. Your Majesties.
A town with just 3,000 people owning their own solar farm. Does it mean that, like, you guys don't depend on the national grid?
We're still connected to the national grid.
Yeah.
So at the moment we're approximately 45% independent from the utility, and the dream is to go the whole way.
What is the idea behind this whole solar farm, and which year did it begin?
It began in 2021.
Recent.
Recent.
Very recent. What is the main reason why you establish your own solar farm, knowing that you live within South Africa?
The main reason for Urania is that we want to be, from the start of Urania, we wanted to be independent on many levels. And one level is energy. Our energy, if you're not energy independent, you're not free.
What makes you feel so proud as an Iranian? Should I say Iranian or South African?
You're Iranian. We're Iranians. We're in South Africa. We're not loose from South Africa. They are our neighbors. We pay taxes in South Africa. But we're proud Iranians.
That was from Wodemaya's video. You can check out the full video. You understand better. Like, I was so happy with what Wodemaya did and the questions that he was asking. That was a good one, okay? So I'm going to leave you with the clip I was talking about. But before then, there's a point that he brought out. And that point is that they want to be independent from South Africa. That is the plan from the beginning. Now, if you watch further, you will hear where Other whites were like, they started this with other towns as well, but it didn't those towns didn't survive, those ideas didn't survive, but it's just a few that survived. Okay, a few that survived. That's Orania, Clairefontaine, and the other one that's recently they were agitating as well, that they want to be independent from South Africa. Now, do you now understand why the South African government needed to, embark on this drastic journey of making decisions like this? So it's not like South Africa is taking land forcefully from the whites that are settling in South Africa. It's not like that. It's not like how the mainstream media is trying to paint it out to be. The fact is that these whites are a very few amount of people. Okay, they are not even up to 50% of South Africa, but they own more than 50% in terms of land and properties. How can you explain that to me, that a settler owns more than the original of the land? And for them to justify what they have done, they come out and tell you that black people originated from Cameroon, that blacks are not the owner of South Africa, that they originated from Cameroon. And it is when their ancestors came that black now came to South Africa. This is a school of thought they are trying to pass out there. Now, why do you think that these people got so comfortable to the level where they make these decisions? Why do you think the whites in South Africa become so comfortable in South Africa that they could do anything they want to do up to this time and make decisions like this up to this time? It is because we allow them to do it. Now that we are saying no, let things go back to what it was before. They are now tagging Africans as bad people. And why are you taking our land? What do you want us to do? This is the only place we know as home. This is the only place we call home. What are we saying? Majesties, there is a lot involved in this. The second thing is that they claim that they are Oranians, okay? And that South Africa is their neighbors. No, I know you'll be like, Abigail, of course, South Africa is their neighbors, but it's not funny because when you look at this from a critical point, how will you say South Africa is your neighbor? South Africa is your country, right? But they are sending a message out there that they do not want to associate with South Africa anymore. So South Africa can be there. This is a town in South Africa, a town, your majesties. A town with only 3,000 people. They have their government, they have their system of rulership, they have their source of finance, what have you. They have everything. And this is happening in the heart of the motherland. If this can happen in South Africa, it can happen anywhere. Like I told you, why did we come to this? Why did South Africa come to this? Because we are so free with these people. We are so free with them. It's happening in other countries. So I told you they are buying lands. Tomorrow now we hear that a town has been created somewhere. It starts gradually. Okay? It starts gradually. South Africa's issue is not something of yesterday that just happened. They took their time. They came gradually. Their ancestors took the pain. Survival skill. They don't care whether they will be alive, but they are doing it for those that will come after them, so that their type can keep surviving. Listen to this man. Kinley, connect his statements with the recent happenings in South Africa and what we have deliberated upon today, and pick something from this discussion. I'm going to see you in my next one, Your Majesties.
Black people are not the original inhabitants of South Africa, which, in fact, they're realizing that now. When they claimed that they owned all the land, the original inhabitants, of whom there are not many left, said, excuse me, we were the original inhabitants, you guys were migrants here as well, which they were. Okay, the original inhabitants of Southern Africa are called the Khoisan. In the West, the Bushmen are Khoisan. Hottentots are Khoisan. But you can't use those words anymore, you know, I have to call them Khoisan, okay? All right, now, And they were the inhabitants of the whole of southern Africa. So the whole of South Africa at one stage were Khoisan. The black people originated in what is now Cameroon. That's where they...
Hold on, Khoisan aren't black?
No.
What are they?
They're a completely separate ethnicity all on their own. In fact, if you look at them, they're kind of yellowy. They're a light brown yellow color,
Right.
but they look more Asian than African. They do not consider themselves African.
Interesting.
When the white guys arrive in Cape Town, so 1652 is when Dutch guys arrived there. At that stage, you could have divided South Africa almost exactly 50-50, what's now South Africa. The western half of the country was entirely Khoisan. There were no black people there. None at all. Only Khoisan. So where Cape Town is, all that area, Khoisan people. The northern part of the country did have black people. They'd started arriving, and they were still migrating.
How long have they been there in the northern?
Well, it's a moot point, and people have debated it. It would seem that black people had probably started arriving in the northern parts of South Africa maybe 1,000 years, something like that, about 1,000 years before whites got there, right up in the north, okay? And they've been slowly moving south because it's an empty space. I mean, one of the things about Africa is it's very empty. Up until the 1950s, Africa was very empty. It's the population exploded because white colonists, the naughty white colonists, put hospitals there, and there's been this huge population explosion since the 1950s. But Africa was really very empty up until then. And so tribes moved around and just occupied new empty territory. So the guys coming down from the north, who are called the Bantu, it's called the Bantu expansions when black people came out of the Cameroons, they'd been occupying South Africa and moving systematically south, down the east coast
They
of South
were
Africa.
pastoralists, am I right?
Yeah, they were pastoralists, yeah. Whereas the Khoisan were hunter-gatherers. They were like aboriginals, okay, so they hadn't become pastoralists yet. The black guys are migrating down from the north and settling, doing exactly what white guys are doing. So white guys, the Dutch guys from Cape Town, were settling by moving eastwards. So the white guys are moving from Cape Town eastwards, and the black guys are moving down from the north. And they met at a place called the Fish River, which is now in the middle of South Africa, at a place called, it's still called Border. Everybody in South Africa calls that part of the country the border, even though there's no border there at all anymore. But there was a river called the Fish River, which is where blacks and whites first encountered each other. And then it started 100 years of warfare between whites and the Xhosa, who were the tribe that they met there. So, okay, so at that point, that would have been in about 1700.